Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of the Huddle, a Steelers podcast with your hosts, Ron, Mont, and Gage. Ryan, how you doing, Gage?
Oh, sensational. Had a great preseason. I will say, I feel like I would have felt worse about the preseason, even worse than having the pig in the mud game that we had against the Panthers and whatnot. Is I think that I would have felt worse about it had we had another Kenny Pickett preseason, if you will, where we just went through and destroyed everybody. I'd be like, that drop is coming. So
Ooh, coming
feels like
out.
there's nowhere to go but up.
Oh man, there you go. See, that's why I like when we talk Gage, because you just come right out firing, man. There's no holds barred or nothing, man. I love it. All right. Well, thank Yins for joining us, man. We are a Steelers centric podcast, and we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers on the show. And if Yins are all about that and got a collection of terrible towels and maybe, get a little racy when Renegade plays, well, man, you guys are in the right place for the Huddle, a Steelers podcast with Ron and Gage. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. We finished out the preseason. We're getting ready to start the regular season coming up here in about 2 weeks, right? We got 2 weeks now. Now, we got 2 weeks. The preseason was 2-1, and we didn't see Aaron Rodgers once.
Nah.
We didn't see DK Metcalf once. We
Mm-mm.
saw a little Jalen Warren on the game against the Panthers. We saw a little bit of the electric meatball, and man, he looks like in mid-season form already. So, kudos to that. But like you said, man, was not exactly ripping it up there in the preseason.
Mm-mm. No, and I mean, listen, we kind of knew to not expect the high tier guys. I mean, heck, at most, maybe it's a series or two at most. I get that. And so it's not like I was expecting to see drive after drive with Aaron Rodgers, putting in with all the ones. I get that. And it's better to do that than to Mark Sanchez him, so to speak, by putting him behind a practice squad line and expecting him to hold his own. It's fine. It is what it is.
Okay, I get you, but man, we barely saw even Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? It was Logan. Logan, what's his name? Is that I
Yeah,
forget. He was
Logan Woodside,
yeah the
and Skylar Thompson.
Logan, the check down on 4th and 7 guy. Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, he's cut.
Actually, he's on the list of cut players, by the way, that just happened here on Thursday or Friday. They cut 11 players, and he was one of them. Logan Woodside, the other quarterback. But I want to touch on Skyler real quick because we've seen a pretty good body of work from him in the preseason with what he's had to work with. And I have to say, of all things, he's the one I've been most impressed with throughout this preseason.
Yeah, he hasn't been bad. I mean, he had a couple touchdown game at least once. I don't know if it was more than once, but I know that he's had some pretty solid performances. And it kind of like, has he secured QB3 in my mind? I mean, I don't think there's 4 quarterbacks anymore, so it looks like he finally won out. But it's it's Skylar Thompson, you know what I mean? But it's good to see that he was able to string together a good performance, that he'll stay on the roster and whatnot. But he's Skylar Thompson, you know what I mean?
Like I said, that should have been the Will Howard show. Unfortunately, that's not
Broke
what
his
we got.
hand. Yeah.
Right. So we're not sure what's going to happen with him yet. He's so far he hasn't been on any of the release lists or anything like that. I haven't seen that he's.
Oh yeah, so we still do have 4 quarterbacks then.
Right, because
Okay.
I haven't seen him move to IR or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they're going to do yet. I guess they have until the Tuesday cut down day where you have to be down to 53 guys.
Right.
Then I guess they'll do what they're going to do at that point. But so far they haven't done anything with Will Howard. Okay.
And I like him a lot, and I think that he should stay on the team. I mean, like here's a hot take for you: is that I don't care what Skylar Thompson does in the preseason, I'd still take Will Howard just for the unknown factor
and the potential of a higher
potential.
Ceiling. The potential for a higher ceiling.
Yeah, and it's not. He wasn't worth. Or, excuse me. He was worth more than a 6th-round pick. It was actually kind of great that he fell to us in that spot.
Okay, but the fact that he was a 6th-round pick, okay, what are you going to do with a 6th-round pick? You know what I mean? But the potential upside for him. See, clue phone for you, Mike. If you want to get a good quarterback, you got to pick him sooner than the 6th round, buddy. Okay, just giving you that little tidbit of advice there. Yeah. Perfect.
No, but the thing is, like, the thing about Mike is that I'm not sure that he's a quarterback developer. The closest thing.
That.
Oh, that's right. Like the closest thing that we've had to any kind of quarterback development in the Steel City that you can't attribute to Ben Roethlisberger was Mason Rudolph when Matt Canada was the quarterback coach. Not when he was the OC, but he actually did show moderate improvement with Matt Canada as quarterback coach. And that's as far as anybody's gotten in the Steel City.
As far as quarterbacking is concerned, or developing a quarterback, and man, even when you look back at all the other quarterbacks that came along with when Ben was there, the ones that they've drafted, you never hear of them anymore because none of them are in the league anymore and haven't been in the league since, they were cut. Right. But so, which is what makes it that much more frustrating, knowing that at the time you had the opportunity to get a Jalen Hurts and you didn't do it. You passed on it. Okay. And now here you are, many years now that, Ben's got 2 more years left before he becomes eligible for the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And you still haven't had a solid, decent starting quarterback since then. I mean,
yeah,
it almost reminds you of exactly what happened when the Terry Bradshaw era ended. Right? When Terry Bradshaw era ended, they went through, oh my gosh, I mean, the list of guys that they had as quarterback before Ben was as long as my arm. I mean, we had
22
a shot.
Years.
Yeah, right? We had a shot there with Neil, but Neil just, when he got in that game, man, his eyes looked like this big. Right. And he just kept throwing it to Dallas. Well, no, man, you're supposed to throw it to the guys in the black and yellow. See, anyway,
man, in that game,
we could have won that game.
We could have won that game. And it's not like I was around to see it necessarily, but looking back on it, it's like the onside kick was a great, like, momentum shifter. We got in the end zone. It was one score, I think, at that point. We were down by like 3.
24-17. 24-17.
Oh, yeah, by 7. I'm sorry. We were down by 7. But
But that gave us that touchdown. That touchdown, and then the surprise onside was what got us back the ball. And then what does Neil do? Here you go. Pick 6.
There's a loaf of bread delivery.
Right, yeah, right. And then it was a pick 6. It was like, all right, well, this game's over. You know what I mean? And it was. And then he did it again. Only that one was.
Yeah, the second one was pretty much a pick 6 too. I mean, it was pretty close.
Yeah. So anyway, but you're bringing up really horrible memories. But you get what I'm talking about. The fact that they went 22 years between Terry Bradshaw and Ben. That's ridiculous.
A long time.
Maybe you guys might want to hire a quarterback guru or something. Maybe, you think? Because what you got working now ain't working.
Hire the local coach from Pittsburgh. He's cheap.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry, I thought we were just impersonating Art Rooney for a second.
Just for a second. Anyway, so okay, the issues with the quarterback room are still going to exist. What do you think about? Let's talk about the other elephant in the room here, and I think that's the offense and defensive lines for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's start off with the defensive side. We had a really scary moment when Harmon was carted off the field in the Carolina game. But really good news is that he was later able to walk out on his own and sit on the sidelines with Cam and TJ and have a good time watching the rest of the game. So haven't heard
all things considered. Oh yeah, it's 4 weeks. They said he's been back about 4 weeks or so. Okay. But it's like an MCL strain or something like that. Okay, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Okay, that's only 2 games because he's already going to be a starter. He's already cemented his spot as a starter for the defensive line. Isn't that sick?
Mike Tomlin never does that. He never makes rookies the first on the depth chart. Never ever. So it shows you how good the guy is.
This early.
Mm-hmm.
this early in this, and we've never seen that before
Never.
with a rookie, right? So that just
Mm-mm.
goes to tell you where this guy's level is, right? The fact that he's sitting there with Cam and TJ and laughing it up, and they have nothing but great things. Everything that I've seen of Cam and TJ talking about him is nothing but great things, right? This Derek
Mm-hmm.
Harmon guy. So
Yeah.
okay,
And he was a guy that like probably should have been taken before 22 or whenever we took him. So it's another like that's what I love is that the Steelers are all about value. They're like, yeah, we could take this guy in the third, but we could also get him in the fifth. You know what I mean? They're all about, hey, we took Derek Harmon. He probably should have been what, the top 10, top 15. There he is at 22. Let's
easy
snatch him.
snap. Yep. There you go. So hey, kudos to Omar. And I got to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking, I'm kind of liking Omar being the general manager.
I am too.
So far so good. We just need a coach that can put them all together. He's got a lot of talent on paper. Seriously, that this is how it perceives to me. Like
Mm.
if you step away, like I take off my Steelers hat. And, oh, yeah, Well, anyway, I'll turn it around so you can't really tell, and I'll cover up my logos. I mean, you can't really tell I'm a Steelers fan, or hide all my background stuff. You know what I mean? And go, all right. Well, if
Mm.
you step away from the Steelers and look at them, wow, DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Warren, Derek Harmon, T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Darius Slay, blah, 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 Jalen, the whole 9 yards. And you're like, all right, this team looks pretty
Mm-hmm.
good on paper. Yeah, okay. But then you get them out on the field and it's like, oh, wait a minute. Just
We
saying.
really loved the idea of name value this past offseason for some
Yeah.
reason. And we have this is a Mike Tomlin philosophy is that time just doesn't exist. If you were to ask him, hey, why did you take Aaron Rodgers? He's a proven winner in this league. He knows what it's like to be on the biggest stage and to win championships. And you're just 15 years ago, maybe, like, you know what I mean, that time does not exist to them. That's why they brought in DK for $30 million a year. And I'm not saying any of these players are going to fall off necessarily, but I think it showcases how honestly Bill Cowher was like this towards the end of his tenure, where it was a very veteran based team and whatnot. It seems like as coaches get older, they want old men around them. It's
Well,
strange.
it seems a little bit more of you want to have proven winners on the team. That's all fine and great, but you
Mm-hmm.
got to get guys that are proven winners that are still on the other side of 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because DK Metcalf is on the wrong side of 30. Jalen Ramsey's on the wrong side of 30, right? Aaron Rodgers is
Mm-hmm.
way on the wrong side of 40.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are, I mean, top skill position, and you could even say that Cam Hayward is way on the wrong side of 30, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those are your four big top skill positions that are all on the wrong side of 30.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Even
mean?
TJ, I think it's very possible that we've seen TJ's best years already.
He's on the wrong side of 30 too.
Mm-hmm.
There, that's five, right? And Highsmith is only 2 years behind him.
Did we mention Jalen Ramsey yet in this
Yeah,
category of
yeah,
people on the wrong side of
yeah,
30?
yeah, he's on the wrong side of 30. He's on that list. Yep.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting season this year. That's for sure. I mean, with the preseason being 2-1, that Carolina game, even though we won, it was ugly, man. There was 11 penalties before the first half. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you can't have a successful game if you're going to be committing these kind of mental errors and penalties. Now, I'm expecting that a good portion of these penalties will go away once you start getting the ones and you start getting the regulars in and blah 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 blah. That's the hope.
Mm-hmm.
But see, look, here's a philosophy that I've had my whole life that I've always kind of taken with me. If you want to be good at football, you have to play football.
Yeah.
You can sit there and take all the mental reps you want, and that's all fine and great, right? That's what you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do when you're resting at night, doing your mental reps, right? Because you're looking at the playbook and all this other kind of stuff, right? All you're doing
Mm-hmm.
out there is a cheerleader when you're standing on the sidelines. That's not getting better at playing football.
And you can kind of make that comparison to really any kind of high impact professional sport. I'm a big MMA fan as well as a football fan, and there's this kind of mentality with some guys that take a long layoff where, well, I was still training the whole time that I was in semi-retirement, and it's like, yes, but you weren't in the cage, you weren't taking body kicks, you weren't getting elbowed in the head, you weren't dealing with all of these things that now you're going to have to deal with when you get in the cage. It's a different animal, man.
It is. It is. It's like with hockey. It's like with any professional level sport. The only way to get good at it is to be doing it. And that's why, unfortunately, there's no such thing as an off season. Now, I understand as a human being, you need to have time to get away from that stuff so you can heal up. You know what I mean? You need to be able to have time to heal and all that other stuff and get yourself right. But if you're doing the right things, you're eating the right foods, or you're eating your fruits and vegetables and your meat and potatoes, and you're doing all the things that the late great Hulkster, which rest in peace there, brother Hulk. You eat your vegetables and you do your stuff right. You can continue to maintain. I'm sorry, but I had to give a little shout out to the Hulk.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Right. I mean, when I was a kid, man, that guy was like, my dad used to take me to wrestling matches. Oh, we're going to get off on a little tangent here. My dad used to take me to wrestling matches when I was a kid, and I used to see Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Bob Backlund and all these old guys, right? George the Animal Steel, right? And then as wrestling went along, and then I got to see guys like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, dude, the ultimate, the guy that got up there and just shook the.
Oh, I remember the Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, right, all right, then. So okay, right. So there you go, right. So, but man, the Hulkster, and he just, man, he changed wrestling. Period. He changed wrestling.
He was definitely the face of it for a very long time. 100%.
When you can pick up Andre the Giant and body slam him, hats off to you, brother. You know what I mean?
I remember Hogan later on said that this is not true. I want to make this very clear. This is what I'm about to tell you is a lie. But that Hogan claimed that he tore like 15 muscles in his back slamming Andre. It's like, no, you absolutely did not.
Did not, no. In his
prime, and Andre was 600 pounds, and it's like, no, he wasn't. It's a whole thing. That story has been
right.
Has been.
But hey, man, the 24-inch guns. Seriously.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
the pythons like Steve talks about.
Okay, right? The 24-inch guns. Okay. Sorry about that little tangent there, folks. We'll get back to talking about Steelers here. So, first game coming up. New York Jets.
Yes.
It's going to be, and I'm going to borrow 5 stars saying here, it's going to be Strawberry Fields versus the old man.
I'm never comfortable playing against the Jets, and I'm never comfortable playing against the Jaguars. They're just two teams that for some reason this team just cannot figure out for the life of them. And I'm just not comfortable. You could say the Patriots too, and probably the Chiefs nowadays. But my point is that the Jets are just one of those teams where I don't even know if it's snake bitten. It just seems like we just play like garbage every time we play them.
I mean, the exception was the Kenny Pickett Jets game.
Yeah.
And
we still lost.
But there was a glimmer. There was a gleam. There was a gleam. Anyway.
There's a gleam, men. Let's get the gleam.
Yes, right. You caught it. Oh,
I love Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, man. Baby.
Rest his soul.
His son is now coaching.
Being a fan of Marty Schottenheimer, subsequently wanting his kid to succeed, but also hating the Dallas Cowboys like every other blue-blooded American, is a very hard spot to be in. Like I want Brian to succeed. I want him to carry on the Schottenheimer name. But oh boy, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's rough.
Anywho, but hey, man, I guess you'll take your shots at wherever you can get them, right? You know what I mean?
You might as well.
I mean, I mean, Marty went to the Browns, so I mean,
And he was of course he got fired like right as he was turning
you know,
as he turned the team around. Like
you know.
too much success.
I imagine that his sons probably reached out to Bill Cowher
Mm.
a lot. I imagine because I know that Bill Cowher and Marty were tight. I mean, Marty was the one that came to Bill Cowher and gave him his first shot at coaching.
Yeah, and it was very much Bill saw that there was life after playing and that it wasn't going to be too long from then. And I want to quote it because it's so funny to me. And it's very much how Marty would approach things, just with blunt, straightforward honesty. He calls up Bill Cowher, who's still a player at the time. This is how much money are you going to make this year? And he says, 125, 150, whatever it is, right? And he goes, all right, I'm going to offer you a coaching position where you're going to work 3 times as hard and make 3 times less. He's like, well, you drive a hard bargain. He called back 5 minutes later and said, sure, I'll take it.
Gage, I'm going to tell you something, my man. I have heard that story from Bill himself. Not that I was sitting in the same room with him or anything like that, but I've heard him say that story many times, and that's exactly right. But that just goes to show you the forward thinking of Bill Cowher at the time because he knew his playing career was not going to last, and I got a family, I got a wife, I got responsibilities. Hey, I can make some money longer than what, hey, I'm only going to be playing for, so I make my money now and then get my thing. And then if I get cut, hey, at least I have a job already lined up. You know what I mean? So forward thinking on Bill and even though it was a special teams coach position or no, it was defensive backs. And then after that, he became the special teams coach, right? And then was able to be a defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
right?
he was Marty's DC for like a year or two. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Right. So
Billy, let me ask you something. Are you allergic to zone coverage? I always remember that one.
I got to be honest with you, right? Him and Dick LeBeau really put Blitzburg on the map. I mean, can we get back to that? Do you guys know what a sack is? Do you guys know what it is to reach the quarterback and take him down? It only seems like TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith are the only ones that know how to do that. Well, we saw a little bit of that on Thursday with Mr. Black making a sack or two. I think he cemented a position on the team.
He definitely has to get significant snaps this year. There's no doubt about it.
Agreed.
Just whether it's the little bit of footage that I've seen of him so far and like the amount, like the over like a ground swelling amounts of support from like Steelers Twitter that guy gets, like you can't not have him be included in the picture. And you just can't.
And I think that's going to bring the end of Loudermilk, and I think that's also going to help spell Cam a lot more, right? Because Cam is now practicing. Okay, Cam Hayward is now back practicing with the team. So that's really good news. I hope that they work things out. I hope that Cam gets what he wants because he deserves it as far as I'm concerned. He's one of the cornerstones of your team, of your defense. He's one of the emotional leaders of this team. I'm not saying that automatically deserves you to get the money that you deserve, but with his workload and everything that he's done over the last couple of years, he deserves to get what he's asking for. So pay the man, okay? Just give him what he needs. Come on, he's only going to be there for another year, maybe 2 at best. Seriously, come on, send him out.
And it really is one of those things where he's like given probably more of the workload than he was expecting, and that's probably like it's the Jason Peters thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So okay, well, I want to do a quick little breakdown here. The Jets. I know we tried to talk about it a little earlier, but let's do a quick little. What do you think here? How are we gonna fare against these here Jets, man?
So I know they have a new head coach, so we can use that to our advantage. I know that they have a good defense, but I don't know if it's going to be gosh, I forget their head coach's name. I know he's on the 49ers now, Robert something.
Okay.
But I know that his defense was the best defense pretty much in the whole league, led by Sauce Gardner and all those guys. And I know that they had like a Quentin something and what they have a lot of really solid talent on that team. And it makes me wonder how good their defense still is, because it might take a step back. It probably will. And so I think there's definitely holes here to exploit. And also, it's not like we don't know Justin Fields. I mean, he played for us for crying out loud. So there's definitely a path to victory here. It's just like, but then again, there's always a path to victory against the Jets. It's just whether or not the Steelers take it. I mean, we had the killer bees. We had Ben, Bell, Brown, Bryant, and Boswell. We might have had Boswell, I don't remember. And we still lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
And it was like 13 points scored. I don't get it.
And I'm going to tell you something, folks. This year, you can't win games by kicking field goals. You're not going to be able
Probably
to.
Not.
You're really not going to be able to. You might get a couple. You might win a couple games like that, but you're not going to be able to have a successful season if Boswell is the main man you're trotting out there to get you points. Okay, it's just not going to work. Okay, and you need to be able to put up touchdowns. Okay, that means 7 points. Hello, Lou. Are you listening, Mr. Smith? Hey, are you listening there, Mr. Smith? Design plays that go to the end zone so you can score points.
Not where we get stopped at the 35-yard line and cross our fingers that our kicker can bail us out.
We don't even have to cross our fingers at the 35-yard line. Heck, we're good all the way back to the 50. What? What? Boswell has proven to be the best kicker in the league as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
well, now that the other guy's gone,
right, Tucker, right? You can't have the moniker money every time the guy steps out onto the field, right? Come on.
100%.
Shout out to 5-star. Can't wait to hear that.
Boz is, I got to tell you my favorite Boz story real quick, because it sums him up so perfectly. And it was when we had that really ugly Bengals game his rookie year. It's when we were in the playoffs and the Vontez Burfict on Antonio Brown hit and all that. We got all that. We got like 30 yards on penalties, and they just send Boswell out to win the game for us. And again, rookie baby-faced Boz looks over at this experienced team with Cam and everybody else on it, and he looks at him and goes, "Y'all get ready to go to Denver. Give me 5 seconds. I'll be right back." And goes out and just bangs the game-winning kick with no problem. Dude, ice in his veins, whiskey in his water bottle.
I mean, love this guy. Pittsburgh has always had, historically, have always had like really good kickers. Matt Barr, Chris Barr.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And then we had the Sean Sweezum era, and then we had the Boswell era, and who was that other guy?
Jeff Reed.
Jeff Reed, that's it, right? We had the Jeff Reed era, and he was a really good kicker too. He was just a little whack job, but he was a really good kicker.
That's
right?
Okay.
Right, that's what I mean. But
I have seen him sign a paper towel dispenser, so at least he's got a sense of humor. I give it.
Hey, like him. I said, he's a little bit up there, but anyway. Okay. I want to say that we have a decent amount of shot here against the Jets. I think, like you said, there is a road path to victory, but you need to put the team on that road to get to that path, to go down to that road so you can get to that victory, right? So that means you got to have the right person steering the bus, if I can use the terminology correctly. You got to have the right person steering the bus to get us to that path to victory. And I do believe there is one against the Jets with the experience of playing with Justin Fields and knowing his tendencies and knowing his capabilities and knowing that he's going to probably be looking to run more than he's going to be looking to throw. So if you just spy him and just dedicate somebody to be on his noggin wherever he goes, it's going to be a much different game. And I think that's going to be the path to victory for Pittsburgh. The defense has to commit to making sure that he is not able to escape the pocket, because if he is, Pittsburgh's going to lose the game.
QB contain, if you will, on
That's
defense.
Perfect. Yep.
And
Outside edges need to
contain on defense. Don't make stupid mistakes on offense. That's your big path to victory. But it's will we get there?
The ball. Catch the ball. Catch the ball. Right? When it's thrown to you, catch it.
Doesn't DK have like a deep ball percentage or like a contested deep ball percentage of like 30%, 40%? It's like, why him? I mean, it's not like DK's bad. I don't hate the move, but for $30 million a year, you think he'd be a better deep ball guy, since that's what Aaron wants to do. Aaron loves fades. That's all Aaron's going to be doing.
And that's what he's going to be doing, right? You know, we're not going to quite get the moon ball that we got from Russell, but we are going to get the deep fades a lot here from Aaron Rodgers, because that's. And so, and I was expecting that they would keep George Pickens to be that guy, but they decided otherwise and brought in DK Metcalf. And
speaking of nut job, talking about George Pickens.
Yeah.
He was fun to watch, I will say, but he was also bad.
An amazing athlete. But he fit into the mold of Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver 100%.
As of late.
I mean, seriously. So, all right. We both feel there's a path to victory against the Jets. We both hope that that's what they take. Tuesday is going to be cut down day to where they have to be down to officially 53 on the roster. So we're going to see who's going to make the team and who isn't. And I'm going to be real interested in how that day works out. And we might have to have a show about all that too, for sure. You know, talk about who's going to make the team and everything. But I definitely think that Black has cemented his spot. I definitely think that Skylar Thompson is going to be the guy until Will Howard is able to come back. However way that's going to work for the Steelers, I think that's what's going to happen. I think we've seen a decent amount of Caleb as our running back. I think he's gonna be up there fighting with the electric meatball for carries, and that's a good thing for both of them. Okay. I really want to see, I really want to see Freiermuth take that next step. I really want to see the wide receiver room be a lot more involved in the game. And we're rolling with Calvin Austin, and we're rolling with Roman Wilson, and we're rolling with DK Metcalf. All right, well, catch the freaking ball. Okay.
Talk about Pat specifically, because that was one of the things that you mentioned that I wanted to highlight, because him taking that next step. And I don't know if that's possible under Mike Tomlin's tutelage. Not that he doesn't have the ability, but I love that he is in that vein of, he said that his idol is Heath Miller, so who'd have thunk it. But in addition to that, Pat is one of those Jason Witten kind of tight ends, where he takes like 2 steps to the side and he's wide open because he knows what's coming. And I love that so much. I find that more interesting than the uber athletic prime Kittle, like where he just goes flying down the field. Like, I love the guys that like take a step to the right and they're like, hey, I'm open by 15 yards. Like, I love that.
And I might not be fast enough to make it all the way down to the end zone, but I'm going to rumble down there and knock a couple people down before I get there. You know what I mean? Right. You know, okay. That's what he did at Penn State. You know, come on. Yeah, man. But really looking to see that happen for him. I want to see, because they have a lot more tight ends on the roster now, I want to see them be part of the game plan more. Okay. Hello. You're going to get better success by bringing those big giant tight ends across the middle, like they did with Gronk and Pick'em, right? Any of the good tight ends all did across the middles. And then you put the speedy guys on the outside. It's not rocket science here, Mike.
I am willing to put a lot of the blame of our offense falling off a cliff on Russ last year, just for the fact that Russ does it every single year. Literally go back any year he falls off a cliff the latter part of the year. As far as Arthur Smith, I like that he's still here, at least for the time being. And I think that his style works very well with us right now, where it's just ground and pound and play action. It's like, hey, I'll take that over the shotgun 5 wide crap that Ben was giving us any day of the week.
I like that.
There's a game plan.
A game plan, play action. You got to be able to do a little deception. You got to be able to do that. You got to show one thing and do something completely different, right? Especially if they know what's coming.
The counter
Okay?
punch that Steve's talked about.
What?
The counter punch, right? That was the big issue.
Exactly. See, it's like we're great minds think alike. Anyway. So we're gonna probably do another show here before the first season kicks off here, but because I want to do a little bit more in depth breakdown here of the first game with the Jets. Because after we know who's all going to be starting and who's going to make the team, we'll have a better idea of what the matchups are going to look like and stuff like that. So I think we'll do another show for that. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sounds good. Cool. So why don't you tell all the folks where we can find you, where we can get all your great stuff there, Mr. Gage Ryan?
You can find my Yu-Gi-Oh content at Gage Ryan Video, my MMA content at Contender MMA, and you can find myself, Ron, Steve, Frayne, and the rest of the group over at 5-Star Matchup.
Yep, for sure. Check that out. And can't wait for that to get rolling for sure, man. We're gonna have 2 weeks here, and then we get 5-star matchup. Yeah, baby. Hop on over to that. That's patreon.com/5SMU. Hop on over there to 5-star matchup and get signed up right now before the season gets started, so you are already part of what's gonna be happening. Do that now. Also, be looking for some major announcements coming here for this group right here. Lots of stuff is going on here, folks. So stay tuned. Anyway, we will see you all next episode of the Huddle, a Steelers podcast. Thank you, Gage, for everything you do, man. And I am Ron Mont. You can catch me on X at SteelFlyers52, or you can catch all the great stuff at SteelFlyers.com. Thank you very much for watching. We will catch you all on the next one.